I'm sweating like a pedophile at a Wiggles concert at the moment. It's fucking hot. My friend taught me that one. It's funny, isn't it? So, to style my hair, I just had a shower and I've got some muck in my hair. I'll just brush it back like this. Hear the wind? It's really, really rough. I hope it doesn't affect my safety on the motorcycle. Which is what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to show you, once again, how hair is affected by a helmet. I think the last video I did on this was with lace. And I was really worried that the glue was coming through the lace and into the hairs themselves. But this time it's poly, so the glue cannot penetrate. And I simply would not ever wear a hat or a helmet with lace unless I knew it was for a sacrificial purpose and that lace piece was going to be destroyed. Like, for example, if I'm growing my hair out and I want to have the hair underneath my hat during my grow back phase, because I've gone from bald to wearing hair, that's the only time I wear lace with a hat. Otherwise, it will destroy your piece to have a hat over lace because it squishes down, and when the glue melts, it pushes up through. Unless it's really cold, then you can probably do it. But when you're hot, you can't. It's gonna be about 29 degrees today, which is 95 on the Fahrenheit scale, I think. 70's 20. No, it's not 95, it's 90. 70's 20, 80's 25, 90's 30. So it's about 90 degrees today. Really windy. We should have some showers later on. Okay, so I'll start with my hair brushed back just so we can get it sort of organized, because in about 5 minutes I'll just get my hair and fluff it forward. Maybe, or maybe I'll just put my helmet on like this. A massive amount of sweat caused a tiny bit of a lift there. So, let's see how this goes. Well, it's not like it came straight out of the hairdresser, but it survived. So, we'll see how it goes for the rest of the time. I'm not into brushing my hair anyway. I want to keep it kind of natural, fluffed. So I just had lunch in this cafe and I've been sitting around for 2 hours, so my hair is dry now. Notice the place they put the light. See where the mirror is? This is a mirror, and that is the light. Mirrors work by reflecting light off the subject, so if there's no light on your face directly, then what are you getting? A lit back of the head. I don't even know why. I've just been having a fight on Mensa forum because I'm a Mensa member, and some of those people, I don't think they're in Mensa. They're fucking morons, man. I've been asking about the effect of light in the curvature of space, and people just have fucking stupid answers. Okay, my questions are a lot more advanced than what I just indicated to you, but if you read it, it depends on your intelligence level, you'd understand why these people are so fucking stupid. Anyway, that's stupid. If you have a light source behind your head when you're looking into a mirror, the person who set it up is a fucking idiot. That's fine to light the room, but then you've got a mirror here, so why not fucking illuminate? So 2 hours have passed, okay? My hair's had a chance to dry, and it's gone fucking crazy from the helmet, right? This is all about the helmet. So I'm gonna use the sink here to access the endless supply of water we get in this country. To just run my hand through the muck that's in my hair and try to do something. Just try and flatten out that gigantic frizz ball hairdo. So the answer is with something that's, so with a hair product like muck, right? With a hair product like Mark, you can't just take your helmet off and expect your hair to be good. Maybe if you didn't put any product in at all, no, I think that would still result in a giant amount of mess. The thing is, I think if you have long hair in general, you're going to have messy hair after wearing a hat or a helmet, especially a helmet, because it goes all over and then when you lift it off, okay? The hat's just on and off, but though the hat doesn't have the clenching effect of a helmet. Also, I put the helmet on when I had wet hair, so that could have affected things. And I put this hat on while my hair is wet as well. I can do this because it's poly, okay? I can't even see what it is with the camera, it's too dark. So whoever designed this iPhone didn't even think, let's make the camera visible to people so they can look into it. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. I don't think the microphones on these things really understand how to differentiate between voice and fucking fans and shit. Anyway, okay, there you go. Okay, so I'll let you in on the question. Wait a second. I don't know if these things are hooked up or not. Let me try it, 1 second. How are these AirPods? Can you hear me properly? Alright, so I'll let you in on what I asked on the Mensa forum. Okay, here it is. I created a thought experiment where you have a propeller of a helicopter that is a certain distance. Actually, it's the radius of the circumference of 1 light year, which is about, I think it's 4.9 trillion kilometers. So I don't know the maths to figure out what the radius is of that circumference, but it's clearly just something pi r2 or some shit. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The length of the propeller blade seems irrelevant in this case. The thing is, it takes 1 year to go around at a distance of 4.9 trillion kilometers. So that's 1 light year. So the tip of the propeller blade is traveling at the speed of light, and the center is obviously traveling a lot slower. If you're talking in RPMs, yes, it takes exactly the same amount of time for the center at any point along the propeller blade to do 1 rotation. So it's, in terms of rotations per minute, it's exactly the same between the tip and the center. But I don't know what happens if it's in the case of I don't know in the case of whether light speed can change all that, right? But I think my question might lose a little bit of its steam being an operative word, because in my first guess about what is happening here, all the trolls and everything that came onto this thread were fucking annoying me. I'll just ignore that, but I just told you, so you know now. So it's coming to my brain a lot as I tell you this. My first guess, no one else had any guesses at all. They're fucking just saying, well, first of all, you have to... Doesn't mean idiots. Anyway, they're not all idiots. They shouldn't be idiots, but they often just refer to Wikipedia links and stuff about what I need to learn in order to understand relativity, because they can't do thought experiments because they're fucking Asperger's-y, you know? Everything's literal to them. They don't know how to think imaginatively at all. So, my first guess is this. The fabric of space-time has a density. It's like jelly, even though it's been apparently disproven by Michelson and Morley that it is, you know, the old theory of ether has been discarded. I don't think it needs to be discarded, right? Because they initially, when they're trying to figure out the speed of light, I'm doing an aside here, I hope I'll remember what I was talking about. Initially, when they tried to figure out the speed of light, they had one person standing very far away from another person, trying to click stopwatches at the same time, seeing how long it would take for the flashlight to hit the other person. But because light travels at a speed that is equal to 7 laps of the Earth per second, their equipment simply wasn't fine detailed enough. And I think that's the problem here as well. Okay, so I think there is a density to the fabric of space-time. We just haven't detected what that is. And of course, it must exist because stars behind the sun, directly behind the sun, appear to the side of the sun during an eclipse, because they are following the curvature of space-time, which is basically the well created by the heavy weight of the sun, the mass of the sun, right? So the Earth creates a weight, like a bowling ball and a trampoline, creating the moon's orbit around the Earth. So the moon's traveling in a straight line, but because the Earth has bent the fabric of space-time, the moon now travels in an orbit, which is what the Earth is doing around the sun because of that same distribution. So gravity is a word I try to avoid, because simply it's just the curvature of space-time based on heavy objects. Now, my theory was because of this thickness of the fabric of space-time, it could work like the atmosphere to a meteor that's coming into Earth, and it burns it up and creates resistance. So therefore, somewhere along that propeller blade, the metal would convert, like ice in a kettle, to water and then steam. But in this case, potentially from matter to energy. And so that's where I think the answer lies. In expecting that propeller to remain intact all the way around, potentially what would happen is, at some point along the line, the speed would be sufficient to convert matter into energy because of the friction of space-time. I hope that was recording all that. Fuck now, okay, good. This is probably my best ever video because of that content just then. I hope you realize how honored you must feel to listen to me talking. Fuck, man. I feel so like in awe. It's like I'm Einstein telling you shit. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening. I hope these microphone fucking things work. Now, so the other thing is, what about time distortion? If the tip was then brought in, if the whole thing was rotated and now the tip is brought into the center of the axis, hasn't that just traveled, hasn't that become younger? Hasn't the speed kept it young in some way? So it's younger than the older center? The fabric of space-time is going to be straightforward when we figure it out, and people are making it seem like it's just for astrophysicists when really it should be very fucking straightforward, and people will just be explained properly in a cartoon or something, and people will just go, oh, is that all? Right? I think that's what's going to happen. I'm trying to break it down to the simplest possible terminology and pictorial understanding, because all this fourth dimensional, 11th dimensional bullshit has simply got to be comprehensible to us without maths. The mathematicians can figure out that it's true or not, but then once they do, simplify it down into black and white so we can all read it. Thanks. Okay, so I'm in another bathroom now, a different bar. Let's just have a look at this hairline. So if I just take my hat off, my hair's had time to dry. Obviously the light is above my head instead of facing me, because these people are fucking morons. But it actually works in my favor here because we want to determine what's happening with the top of the head. And the answer is any trace of that muck that was keeping the hair in position has kind of vanished. Not because I put a bit of extra water in it earlier, but just because it's been absorbed into the hair and the hat and the helmet. So if you do wear such things, hats and helmets, then you really, I can't even see the fucking lens. Where are you? There. You've really got to expect that your hair's going to end up really fucking messy. Okay? And it looks probably better in here in this lighting than if I were to open this door and let the sun, let the sun shine. Okay? So the sunlight looks like that. Good to see that the gap is sealed. I put this one on using that new placement method that I showed you in an earlier video as well. So that's really worked well to not create that bold line that I usually have here when I place it using conventional methods. And somebody pointed out that this hairline is too high, but I think it's okay. Also, consider the sweat that has been collecting underneath the hairpiece while you've been wearing it. By the way, this is all poly, 0.03mm poly, which I got in a 6-pack from lordhair.com using the coupon code StickOnHair, one word, which will give you a 20% discount. So a $699 6-pack of poly will cost $560 if you use that coupon code. You must be logged in and you can only use it once per account. So this is helmet hair and then hat hair with poly. So thinking about the sweat that would have accumulated, I think it would be very filled with sweat underneath here at the moment. So pulling back hard on that would just peel it right back off. I didn't bring a hairbrush or anything with me. Not that I like my hair being styled in that way with a brush, because naturally my hair is bulky and curly, which is why I'm so glad that it's been cut to 1.8 centimeters using my beard trimmer from the Beardscape beard trimmer from, what's that company called? Brio. Okay. But yeah, so a hat and a helmet will make your scalp hotter and increase the amount of sweat. Don't ever do this unless it's cold with lace. Even if you're wearing a beanie at the snow, you're probably going to sweat, because you sweat when you ski, even though it's freezing. So yeah, that's why I think poly is just the best for everything. It's just waterproof. I mean, the thing is, first of all, use an acrylic glue so you don't have to worry about water. Okay, people often recommend things like Ghost Bond, which is a water-based glue, because it's easy to apply and easy to kind of clean, but it's not easy to clean because it ends up in little balls of white, looks like sort of dandruffy stuff. It's not easy to get out. It disintegrates. Whereas Ultra Hold, Walker Tape Ultra Hold, stays all together in one. So when you pull it, it stays in a big, sheet. So it is actually easier to clean Ultra Hold. And the moment you put it on, whether it's lace or poly, you can just jump straight in the shower without worrying about the water affecting it. Okay, once it's dry after about 15 minutes. Okay, so I recommend acrylic glue and poly for the reasons that you can wear a hat and you don't have to worry about the front hairline getting all gunked up with glue, and the fact that you can paint the glue directly onto the unit itself when you're folding down that final piece at the front to just get that exact curvature line without any glue excess around the forehead, which is a fucking asshole to clean up. Trust me, you don't want to have to deal with it. With lace, you have to deal with it every 2 or 3 days. And just from getting out of the shower, the glue is exposed to the water, so it expands because it's absorbed some of the water. It becomes puffy around here, and you're tempted to pick at it, and then you got to re-glue it, and it's just a fucking mess. With poly, you don't have to deal with that shit. Okay, it's a lot easier to use. So use 0.03mm poly or even thinner. It's got good durability. I think it would last months if you looked after it. Use the new placement method I showed you. Use acrylic glue such as Walker Tape Ultra Hold. I don't like the glue myself because I think it doesn't work exactly well to keep held on while you sweat, but it's the best glue that I've used. We've got to wait for something better to come along. I'm sorry, it just doesn't exist yet. And I recommend don't cut your hair below really 1.5 inches, otherwise your hair will just stick up uncontrollably. I think the shortest hairs here are about 1.5 inches there, and it gets down to about right down to the bottom of my eye in some places here. Okay, but ideally, if I wanted to look neater, I'd keep it all about 1.5 inches, so I could just keep it nice and short. But I do prefer a fringe. I think it suits me a bit better, having all of that at the top there. If you want it longer, anything longer than 1.5 inches in hair length is fine. I know it's weird that I swap between millimeters and centimeters and inches and stuff like that. That's just the way I think about these things. I don't know why. Cutting your hair yourself is easy, sticking it on yourself is fairly easy, unless you've got a back part here, in which case you're probably wearing a full cap, in which case you need a double mirror system, which you would need to have installed. And I don't recommend just a flat mirror, like the front one facing you in the wall, just being flat behind you, because you need to see over the top of the back of your head like that. So you need a mirror that's sort of on a swivel thing that angles around, so you can see clearly what's going on behind you. The other thing is, if you've got recessions here and here, and then another one at the back in the middle there, like I do, because I can't really show you properly exactly, but there, you can kind of see it's thinning at the back middle there. It's not too bad at the moment, but it could be visible under certain lighting conditions. It is visible under certain lighting conditions. You can still see there's hair coverage, but you can still see that there's balding going on there, reduction of hair. So what I'm going to do to combat that is sprinkle in some Topic, Toppik. I just got 3 medium browns, I hope that's my color, with a pump to sprinkle on, to spray on instead of sprinkle on. And I've watched some videos which say if you've got some oil in there and stuff, it'll stay in, otherwise it'll puff around like talcum powder and you'll inhale it, which is dangerous. Don't inhale Topic hair fibers. But that should hopefully just cover that bit up. So a front partial, like I've got, plus some Topic would work well for you too, probably, in a lot of cases. If you're very thin up here, all along there, you're best to just shave all of that off and install a double mirror system and get a full cap, which you can stencil and cut out yourself and put on yourself every 3 weeks. And the poly, so long as you don't pull at front line hairs and so on, should last you for about 3 or 4 months if you look after it. They are V-loops in poly systems rather than knots, so you never have to worry about the problem of bleaching the knots. But what you do need to do is use peroxide around the front. Before you put it on your head, just get all your hair pieces lined up. Don't ever have less than 3 hair pieces ready to go. Okay, just buy them in bulk. Okay, and get them all cut out and ready to go. And also with the poly, you've got to basically put blonde hair dye, peroxide, along the front hairline, about 1.5 centimeters, 1 inch, maybe it's 2.5 centimeters deep into the hair, so that it blends out of the forehead nicely. It would be nice if this was done at the factory, but they don't do it, so you've got to do it. Otherwise it'll just be a wall of sudden hair. And you can't pick away at hairs on poly, because the shininess and texture of the base, the poly itself, polyurethane I think, is going to shine sunlight or lights at people, and they will see where you've picked away at it. Because it's impossible to cut with scissors in that way. And even if you get some sort of hole punch to try and clip it along the front edge, which might work, it'll then be kind of difficult to just put paint glue onto that exactly without getting glues in the hairs, which defeats the purpose of you doing it in the first place. So I think the simplest thing to do is keep it rounded instead of trying to make it a different shape. Don't pick hairs out, because the poly, or in the case of lace, the lace will show through. You don't want that. So picking it away at the hairs at the front to give it graduation, it's often a mistake, because it'll reveal either glue shining through with the lace, and people will see the lace as well, because that's not invisible. Not to young people who've got good eyesight, or people who are wearing glasses who've got bad eyesight, but the glasses make them see well, okay? But with poly, you don't want that plastic shining through either. You don't want the base to be visible. If I didn't have any hair on my head and I just glued the base to my head, you'd see the difference between my forehead and where the base started. It's not invisible, right? Just like my fingernail is not invisible on my finger. Capiche?